Hello and welcome to this new video. The anime starts with a giant elephant. This elephant is bigger than any other elephant. The whole army could not defeat this one. But then Yujiro showed up. Yujiro defeats the elephant with his bare hands, which was not a real challenge for him, because Yujiro is the strongest person on the planet. After that, we also get to know Baki. Baki is the son of Yujiro. In the evening, a small student confronts Baki. This pupil is sent to the shore with one blow. After that, the two become friends. A little later, Baki trains shadow boxing. His opponent is the heavyweight champion Iron Michael. Only this one had no chance against Baki's strength. When he was finished, he went home. After he was at home, he continued to train. For this he goes to the basement. There he imagines a giant praying mantis. The two then gave each other an exciting fight. Only after a while, Baki manages to defeat it. A few days later we see Yujiro. He is training in a pool. The pool is stronger than any current on the sea. But Yujiro manages to dive in the speed there. Shortly after, he jumps out of the pool. After a while, Baki decides to come to the prison. To get in there, Baki unceremoniously kidnaps President Bush. He demands him to come to the prison of Biscuit Oliva. He is said to be the strongest American ever. After Baki arrives at the prison, he first has to go through the security check. After that, Baki is brought to Oliva. The two talk for a while. A few minutes later, Baki attacks him, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. After that, Baki also went back to his cell. There he also meets his roommates. Among the roommates was Iron Michael and the second strongest man in the prison. His name is Guevara. The next day they sit together at the table to eat. While doing so, someone challenges the second strongest man to a fight. But this one is taken care of with ease. A little later we get a flashback from Guevara. In this flashback we see how he managed to make a complete island independent from America. To achieve this, he infiltrated an agent into the White House, through which they blackmailed the independence of the island. A little later, Baki is visited by a guard. This guard tries to attack Baki. Only Baki is not impressed by this. He defeats this then also. A day later, he has to build a new road in sweltering heat. In the evening, Olivia comes to Baki's cell. There he exchanges with Guevara because the two want to fight. Only it does not come to a fight. They only provoke each other. The next day we learn that Olivia's girlfriend is also living in prison. But nobody has seen this mysterious friend until now. A little later we see Olivia making himself pretty for his girlfriend Maria. Without further ado, we also see Maria for the first time. Olivia carries her out together with the bed. There where the fight against Guevara is to take place. It turns out that she is a very fat woman, which in itself is a great understatement. A few minutes later, the fight between the two begins. Olivia inhales a bit and his whole suit bursts. To that he is so fast that the torn suit stops in the air. Guevara also opens his motivation to fight, because his motivation is the sea, which he displays with a small carafe. They began to measure their strength by means of a tug of war. While they both hold the cloth, they also hit each other, because whoever lets go first wins this fight. While holding, Guevara grabs one of his own whiskers to shoot it at Olivia. This hair also hit him unceremoniously. After that, Guevara grabs it to fling it to the ground. Only the whole thing didn't work, because Olivia can catch herself. After that, Olivia had to take a few blows. Only at some point Olivia started to really fight and let go of the scarf. With a decent punch, he flings Guevara away. However, Guevara also came back quickly after the punch. He used the time to paint himself with dirt. Only before he could really do any serious damage, Olivia hits harder this time, but that couldn't defeat Guevara either. Both fighters were going for their final blow. They both went at each other. Olivia was too fast for Guevara. That's why he hit him first. This blow defeated him. After that, Baki wanted to fight him. He provoked Olivia to accept his invitation. But Olivia had no interest to fight against Baki. Without further ado, later he carries his girlfriend back to the room. Afterwards, we learn that Guevara escaped to go back to his island. As a farewell note, he left an invitation from him for Olivia and him to fight again. A few hours later, Baki felt like breaking out of prison. He wanted to do that because he wanted to see if he could do it easily. And yes, he did it with ease. Mr. Olivia came out on a motorcycle to talk to Baki. He wanted to give Baki a beating since he escaped from prison. Only Baki didn't want to fight him because he doesn't seem to be at 100%. He wants to fight Olivia top fit. After that, the two also parted ways. In the evening, both met in the cell. There was Baki with a finger cuff. Olivia used this chance to piss on Baki. With it, he wanted to demonstrate his power. But Baki only made fun of him because he knows that he will eventually defeat him. After that, Olivia went back to his room. In his room, he decides to fight Baki because Olivia wants to show him who is really the more powerful. The prison warden did not think so much of it. Olivia also wants to make a huge event out of the fight. He even wants to invite the president. A few hours later, he went to Baki to tell him about the event, so that he is already prepared for it. But Baki does not want to fight in 2 weeks, but directly in the cell. Therefore, Baki unceremoniously distributes some kicks in the direction of Olivia. After that, the two also began to fight. Olivia destroyed once again his suit to demonstrate his strength. Baki also loosens his finger cuffs by pinching off his arteries with his muscles. This makes the fingers thinner and the shackles fall off. Mr. Olivia grabbed Baki to pull him through the wall. He then flings Baki around like a towel. A few minutes later, he pushes Baki through several cells. When he has stopped, he knocks Baki through the door. Shortly after, Baki falls off the banister, where he fell from the 3rd floor. On the ground, they gave each other more blows. At some point, Olivia grabbed Baki and threw him to the ground with all her might. A short time later, a deep dent formed in the floor. Only Baki did not mind this throw, so he got up again. Baki gave Olivia a blow on the back of the neck. This blow knocked him out without further ado. However, it did not defeat him completely. A few seconds later, Olivia turned into a sphere. Baki tries to penetrate this spherical form, only he did not succeed at all. With this technique, he concentrated his muscle mass on single points. Baki tried to open this sphere with a special blow. However, this blow apparently had no effect. Olivia took the chance to trap Baki in his sphere. Shortly after, he let Baki out as well. It seemed that this one was defeated. Only Baki endured that too, after which he also got up again. After that, both decided to end this fight. To end this, both wanted to fight with bare fists against each other, to see who would run out of stamina first or who would fall over first. It took several minutes until there was a winner, and this winner was Baki. After Mr. Olivia lost, his girlfriend suddenly showed up to see the result. A few hours later, Olivia published to the other prisoners that he lost his title to Baki. After that, Baki was released from prison. This is also the end of the anime. I hope you enjoyed this detailed summary. If you have a special request, feel free to comment. Otherwise, just leave a like to support me.